Come on.
All right.
Okay. Hello.
What's the episode number again?
This is episode 22nd.
Yes,
of
welcome to
DevKami.
DevKami episode 22.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's the topic. It's about holiday or about sensor?
Air quality.
Air quality.
Air quality. So
Yes.
here's two things I want to ask you guys. Do you want to do the user busting or you announcement
Yeah.
first, or you want to talk about toys?
No, we want the usual first.
Yeah, let's do
Just,
the usual
yeah,
first. Yes.
calm your horses.
Yes.
Swimming is excited to talk about
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah, I love my toys. Seriously. All
Alright.
right, this weekend will be action packed.
Yeah, this weekend is crazy, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell put so many events on this day? But that being said, That
Swimming,
being-
try to watch your language, or else I have to set it to age restricted.
okay.
Yeah.
That being said, so this weekend we have two events organized by Women of Code who code. So you have one called Speak Up, how to speak in a conference and how to sell your idea to your company. Then you have Python 105 on object-oriented
Yeah.
programming.
So
It's
speaking up is happening on Nintex. So
Yes.
this Saturday, right?
Yep.
Python 105 is happening on Fall Space
Yes. Where is
in,
that?
Yeah.
Bangsar.
Both are organized by Women Who Code, Kuala Lumpur. Yeah,
How do they
kudos to them.
organize? Like it's two different venues and it's the same organizer.
Their organization is there are multiple people in the organization.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a large organization.
Yeah,
It's a
I
big
don't
thing,
know
you
what
know.
happened. Maybe they realized
Because-
that I do not
Yeah.
know what's the inside story.
Mm.
And then of course we had a React workshop happening at
SOLS. I don't know what SOLS means.
I don't know what
Right.
it is.
somewhere in KL. But we will share the link, and of course you can look at our event at devkami.com/meetups.
Mhm.
Then finally we can go, and we also had a startup event in MPSJ hall. Which hall in MPSJ? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's the PJ startup event. My bad. I should do more research before I go on.
Mm.
MPPJ startup event. Oh, Devon Civic. You know where is Devon Civic, PJ? The
I
startup.
have no idea where that is.
It's actually at, of course, it's MPPJ is in PJ, but it's actually in. I've been there before. It's not. I try to put it in a place that most of us know.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the events in the show note as well.
Yep.
Okay. SOLS is Science of Life Studies.
Oh.
It,
Wow.
it took some
That's
time
a-
to find out.
That's a mouthful of words.
Yeah, that's why it's called. That's why probably they just shortened it
Yeah.
to SOLS. SOLS.
Got the meetup page.
Yeah.
We had too many of those happening.
So after the weekend, after the intro to React at Science of Life Studies Malaysia HQ, it's near Sungai Besi.
Yep.
Tuesday would be 26th of February. It's the Junior Dev Talk and Share
Correct.
at
So-
Bukit Bintang Common Ground.
Yep. It's Raja Chulan area. It's
Mhm.
you need to walk a little from the MRT,
Yeah.
but it's not too bad.
So it's walking distance from the train station.
Yep, correct. Precisely.
The day after would be JavaScript Wednesday
Yep.
Yeah.
at the Mind Valley Hall of Awesomeness in
Yeah.
Bangsar, Menara, UOA.
Yay.
We just had our DevOps meetup happening last Tuesday.
Yes, and the photo is already up.
Yeah, good photos this time.
It's unedited, so that's messed up. Also change
Yeah.
lens.
So,
He just
so
wants to show off his skills, saying
Yeah,
like, "Oh, it's all
streaming
raw.
is humble bragging.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's all
unedited.
raw,
yeah.
but yeah, is this how I look like when I wake up from sleep? Whatever."
Then
The pictures are good. Yeah.
Yeah, pictures
Even
are
if
really
they're
good.
unedited.
Kudos.
okay, it's green. No, it's not.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay.
I lost the. Okay.
Then on the 28th, Thursday is TensorFlow and Deep Learning Malaysia meetup at edX,
Yep.
Bangsa South, or what do you call it, Kampung Kerinci?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's Nexus at Bangsa South, aka
Yeah.
it's actually at Kerinci.
yeah,
So that happening.
yeah.
Then on
We-
Friday, we yep.
Yep.
Anyone going there and recording the sessions, or is it
No.
just
No.
no?
We're
Okay.
gonna have our DevKami on the same date as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I want to, but I want to go to the event after I show more things.
Okay.
After when I have something to
And on
show.
Friday,
We have Elixir meetup.
Elixir Meetup.
1st of March.
Yeah.
Again at Mind Valley Hall of
Yeah.
Awesomeness.
Well, that's
Uh,
it's pretty busy in Mind Valley.
Yeah.
pimping out our chief technical officer. Is that what CTO means now? I forgot what CTO means
Yeah.
now. Chief
Yeah.
technical
The
technology
technology,
officer. Yeah. CTO, pimping him because he's going to be speaking at the Elixir meetup.
Right.
Yep.
So does Mind Valley use Elixir?
We do, yeah. We
Okay.
most of our Quest platform is on
Yeah.
Elixir. We
Yeah.
still have a few backend services on Rails, but I think the technology going forward would be on Elixir and Vue as the front end.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're doing modern client side development and also probably what you'd call modern backend development using like Elixir or Go probably, but Go wasn't
Yeah.
chosen as the technology that we're going forward with. It seems to be
Yeah.
Elixir,
Go is a bit niche in a way.
but yeah, it depends, I guess. I mean, probably because most of our team was in Rails, heavily invested in Rails. So jumping to Elixir was not as big.
Yep.
Whereas if you had to go with like Golang, it's not going to be as easy
Yeah.
because
It's
it's a
pretty
completely
forward.
different syntax.
Yep. Let's proceed with the calendar. 2nd of March is very important
Yep. What happened on 2nd of March?
because it is the come on swimming.
Oh, wait.
2nd of March is the Global Open Data Day.
Oh my God, there's Open Data Day.
Yes, and it's actually Michael is going to speak at the TEDx event
Yep.
in the Starling about
Uh-huh.
applied open data.
Wow. Okay. I had things that I was working on in between. I forget about it.
And Sumik been running Open Data Day for many years, and he
Yes.
forgot about this year.
He didn't know what he are you running the open data swimming?
No. We had a friend called John from the
Okay.
IO Foundation.
Yeah.
So he had been doing a lot of these down here.
He's trying to do a bit of even the Saturdays. There's like a blockchain event about talking about the fundamentals of blockchain technology. So
Do you know where it's
Starling,
happening?
yeah,
Starling as well. Mhm.
collapse. We're gonna add it into the calendar as well.
Yep. Then of course we had machine learning workshop.
Are you putting the calendar, the big
Oh,
calendar?
that one
on
is
the
new.
show
I do not know who add that, but
Yeah.
that is a charge event, so you had to go in for 650 ringgit.
Okay. Well,
So-
650. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Then if
cheaper
you
than-
can, if you can take away something.
Yeah, I hope.
Let's add this calendar link to the show
Yeah.
notes as well later.
Yeah, we should do that. Oh yeah, how about we don't have a confirmation from West KL neither. All right.
So just people, if people are wondering, the difference between the big calendar and the DevKami curated meetups are that the ones that we list are curated and most
Yeah.
likely we are there.
Yep.
And that like these are the events that have a proven track record of being good.
Yep.
The others, like we'll promote them, but we don't know yet because we haven't really been attending.
Yes.
Maybe we will attend and then we'll see. But yeah. So
Okay.
we curate. It's something that we would personally go to.
Yeah, we filter up events for you.
Yes. Okay, so that's it. What's next?
Swimming's toys. Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking about news. All right. So I like to talk
I
about
think we
toys.
won't have enough time if we talk about
News,
your
right?
news and then your toys. I think we'll
Yeah.
You pick your toys, then we have an exception.
So okay, so this is
Come
a
on,
bit bad.
be quick.
Can you see?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Okay.
focus on you.
What's
I
that?
was
This
sure.
is what am I seeing?
Okay, so this is what we call a particulate sensor. So it check for particulate
You have
matter.
to put it there. So
It's hard to see. Actually, the sensor is the black thing, right? It's a black thing. That's a
yeah,
sensor.
That's a black box with a fan, right?
Yeah. So what happened is this is a particle sensor.
Uh-huh.
A particle sensor. This is also what we call a PM 2.5 sensor,
What's the
because
2.5?
I'm going to explain that.
Okay.
So this is actually so we are actually a standard of what is the particle size that can be detected by a sensor. One of it is called 2.5 milligram per meter. So this thing is capable to detect 2.5 milligram per meter of accuracy. That's the resolution of your sensor. So this is how small the particle they can see. And it works by having a laser hitting it and count it using diodes. So it's pretty advanced. What you want to use this for? You use this to actually detect how dusty is your room. Your air purifier will have some similar technology. Maybe different sensor, but the same idea. To actually see how dirty is your room. Now, sometimes when you're in your air purifier, you see the coloring or LED display. They use this kind of sensor, right? So in short, this is a PM 2.5 sensor, but this is just a sensor. This thing here output to what we call a UART, aka serial connection. So you talk in serial, and it's not really easy to talk to. So what happened is, the good guys at Citron, which we interviewed last year, they actually carry this sensor in their shop, and they provide one extra thing. This green electronic here, that's their board to actually interface with the PM 2.5 sensor. So what they do is they provide easier connection for you to connect to your devices. I will explain what devices later.
So the package contains that black box and a PCB.
Yeah, correct.
And you just connect them and it just works.
Not yet, but it have enough to work. But it provides two things: a connector. You see here, this connector is not common, so they set up a connector for you.
What do you call this connector?
I do not know. This is the connector used by the sensor.
I see. So it's like a rainbow connector with socket.
Then this is, and they add one more connector to make our life easy. This here is what we call a growth connector. Again, I will explain what is growth later. Without this, it will be a little bit harder for you to work with it, because you need to write your own code to process it and whatnot. This is a bit. This one is a bit thin. You can think of it like a thin wrapper library. But this had a hole for OLED, so that without writing any code, you can display the data immediately.
Oh, okay. So it's like a small board that already contains the code.
Point it to a screen, just to give everybody a better look of it.
Yeah.
No, pointer. Yeah.
So this is an OLED screen. This also, we say the reason why I say it's not yet is because I need to solder the header and the screen. Also, the instruction is not really great, so I solder it the wrong way. You will solder it correctly. So I talked to the team at Citron. They're on my Facebook list, so so they acknowledge that there is documentation issue. So by default, once you solder everything, you will get a screen. If you don't solder it, by default, they already had another UI connection that you can use. You can use for your devices. In this case, I connect it to Arduino, so that I can do things with it. The reason I use Arduino is because I use this as a reading device to output into a serial interface that some program can read.
Right? Okay. So this board does not emit serial.
No, this thing. So the PM2.5 sensor have their own binary protocol.
Oh, okay.
This board provide two things. They provide they have their own firmware, so they can display on the screen immediately without writing code, and it also handling the power, because turns out that the power requirement for this guy is tricky. It need 5 volt, but it only the GPIO out use 3 volt. So this bot helps protect it by reading it correctly and output it in an easier way for us. Which is why I said this is a very thin wrapper. It doesn't do too many smart things for us, right? It doesn't do smart things for us. So
it's not like an Arduino where you have the board and you can already connect like extra stuff like LEDs or whatever.
Correct.
You have to connect it to another device like an Arduino so that you can, okay, I have a Wi-Fi connection, whatever, and then it pings other things.
But this thing is what we call a UART. It's a 4-wire thing to output to serial. Okay, so this is the last technical thing I'm going to cover. But you need a special connector. It's in the box. It's too lazy to take out. The small connector will output to a serial. There's a USB to serial chip that actually convert that. So as it will talk to a serial port.
Okay.
But there's a catch. It's a binary protocol. So you need to find a library that already talk it for you, speak the language for you, or write your own code for it.
Okay.
But Cytron, outside of this board, Cytron provide an Arduino library so that you can write your Arduino code on the Arduino board for you to process it.
I see. Is there like documentation for the UART protocol?
The UART protocol is standard.
Okay. The serial one is not. It's a binary.
No, the serial is also standard. It's the protocol, the binary protocol for this one that is. It's not standard, but it's documented.
Okay.
It's documented. It's just that I used to high-level languages, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. So where do I get this? This is not mine, by the way. This is actually the guys from engineers.my actually want to know how to interface this to things, right? Do things with particle sensor. So among them, I'm the one with a little bit more experience with the hardware hacking. So that's what I do. So the next step, so what it does is do PM255, right? Currently, it doesn't really do a lot. It output the Arduino acts as a bridge to output to a serial port for they process the format and output to a nicer serial format for us to use. And that's about it. So I still try to figure out how do I want to interface it. Nowadays, microcontroller option is a lot, all right? We have a development board that can talk to your Wi-Fi that is like 20 ringgit. 20 ringgit.
Or this already, like, you don't have to write code for it to...
No, you have to write code for it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
The reason I stopped that, the board I'm talking about is the ESP8266 based board or not MCU. You can talk to the internet, so you can submit data to the internet. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of things that without writing code. Especially this protocol is not like standard thing that you can use. So unfortunately, it means that you have to write some firmware for it. But the option for hacking this is enormous. So MicroPython is possible to write in MicroPython. If you use MCU board, you can use JavaScript. No, I'm sorry, not MCU is using Lua. If you use ESP260, there is a JavaScript option, etc. Why I want to talk about that because we can submit data over the internet somewhere. I do not know where yet. There's multiple options. Things.io provide. No, not Things.io. Things.io is one of those things that provide data collection service for our sensors so that we can share to the rest of the world.
So is it government funded or privately funded?
No, it's all those. We have a lot of these data collection services are private funded entity targeting IoT services.
Oh, okay. But the data that they output is free. You don't have to subscribe for.
No. It's our data.
Oh, it's your okay, cool.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The data comes from our device. Therefore, we own it.
Yeah.
But them as a service have the right to decide how much they want to store for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's like you know how papers are, scientific papers.
Yeah.
Like it's your paper, but you submit it to like Nature, but the journal basically owns the thing, and
correct.
I think that service is just a data storage service, so we don't have to host our own data collection endpoint.
And more importantly, a lot of this software are open source, so we can actually store our own if you want to be geeky about it. But this project already involves a lot of things. For example, we need a lot of the next phases that we need to do. For example, how to power this guy. I do not know. Where to hold this device? I don't know. I think I'm going to steal a Tupperware. I think I'm just going to steal a Tupperware
Because
somewhere.
this thing has to be resided in
Yeah, it do not need to be in the outside, but it need to be at least at your windows. So some form of protection is still needed.
From protection from the elements.
Correct. So you need power and all that. Then I need to figure out. Then finally, again, I go back to the microcontroller board. I need a way to submit data over the internet to make life easy. And all those data collection services, they actually provide API for you to integrate with other things, which is actually very cool. So you don't even need to roll yourself. Okay, so what's the point of this project? Let's talk high level. Chi Liang, I think you should take over on this. What's the high level reason you want to do this?
Because it's a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually the first thing is
I had to put this on the thing because my hand is tired now. Okay. Sorry.
The first thing is the air pollution this year is more visible on my own body because my body is reacting to it. And the thing is, our official API readings are based off the average of the last 24 hours reading. So, you know, by taking an average of the huge data set, you actually like
it's the billionaire problem.
Yeah, take away the granularity. What we need right now is the current reading of that, and there doesn't seem to be any body that's wanting to do this because this is not something that make you money and also like not really sexy. So the thing is, this is I have to put Han in here. Is the philosophy is actually if nobody does it, then you're gonna do it.
Right.
So he got a bunch of this and tried to like come up to whether we can have in a way centralized and well packaged ways to at least whenever people there's at least a recipe. I think we talked about it during the Chinese New Year, which we forgot about. At least there's a recipe where people can follow, build it, and there will be an API or a like central API where you can, or not just central, but probably the federated one where everybody can submit to one place. Something like that. So if the party that's supposed to do their job doesn't perform, then we have to do it for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this is a pretty sexy project. It's pretty interesting. A number of people do get interested in it. It's just that not many people know the hardware intricacy for it because it's our own bubble, our own circle. It's tend to be software focused.
Yep.
So as a result, nobody really know how. But I know it works because we are not the first project that works on something similar. Remember that I keep talking about safecast?
Yeah.
Safecast guys have the same problem.
Yeah, you might want to explain like what is safecast.
So after Fukushima, what happened is the Japanese government do not release good enough radiation information. They do not know whether it's safe to go out. They do not know how far the explosions are, etc. So the Japanese government don't release too many good information. So what happened is a group of hardware hackers in Japan, the Tokyo hackerspace, decided that why don't they connect a Geiger counter and submit data over the internet.
Oh, you mentioned it before.
Yeah, so, and those days you can actually do that pretty easily. You do not need to be live, but you need to be logged, right? So those technology is there. Microcontroller can read from Geiger counter. Geiger counter have interfaces that can talk to microcontrollers. You can buy GBS modules and all that. It's expensive, but it's cheaper than the official engineering product.
Yeah, I might want to expand on it afterwards.
Yeah, correct. But it's cheaper in a way that you can build an Arduino. Those days it's like 100 ringgit. A GPS module is another 500 ringgit. 500 ringgit GPS module. Then you need to get another. So a box of those sensors. Electronics alone is close to 1,000 ringgit plus. Plus the gauge counter is like quite a lot. And how they do it is essentially what we want to do with this sensor, right? Microcontroller board, submit to the internet somehow. And in their case, they want to map how bad the situation is. Therefore, they had a requirement to using GPS. We can cheat a little in our case, but it's something we can discuss along the way. We have options. So here the point is we have multiple options, so it's not too big of a problem. But the idea is the same. Submit, create this, submit data online, and so that's what Safecast does, right? Since we can steal the idea from Safecast, even from the hardware.
They actually provide kits also, so you can build
Yes.
it.
So believe it or not, originally their encoding is actually Tupperware. I just remember it. They actually plug their sensor outside the car, so they're still powered by USB, but they use a Tupperware and sensors and all that. The only difference is it's happened at it started from Tokyo Hackerspace, so you got a lot of hardware hackers working on that. It's a bit lacking down in Malaysia. There's a difference. Even though we make electronics down here, but we manufacture electronics down here, but we don't have people, we don't have hackers. So that is interesting. But I know a few guys, so I know a guy. But so what's the point of this, right? I want to bring this a bit further. What's the point of releasing information for free? The short answer is it's a cause that we believe in. Me personally, I believe that this information is useful for me to know whether I need to do more to prepare myself for the environment. For me, it's something like, okay, haze is bad. How bad? What can I do about it? All this information allow me to make decisions or help make decisions, right? Maybe on the big scale, maybe on a small scale, information helps. Here's the catch. It's not, these things are not commercially viable. Remember, we are not hardware engineers. We don't have factories. We do not know how to keep the cost down. And a hardware project means it's a long time to develop.
And politically, it's not something that is sexy to do as well.
Yeah. So especially current. Let's what that part, but political things for you, it might make them look bad.
Yeah. It's actually not, put it this way: the data is for, I think, what do you get it? This should be a way to go forward instead of going with just criticism. It might be better if we come up with certain data to back us up.
Yes.
I mean, not to make them look bad, but actually something that is scientifically logged and observed.
Correct.
So that all the stakeholders realize how severe it is. Because one of the frustration that I have with the air pollution is there is nothing on the news about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's normalized, but yes. So so a lot of this is because of the cause that we are actually passionate in, and it's really simple thing like I just want my nose to not go sensitive over the haze. A lot of people are saying,
Is there a reason why the data as output right now on the publicly available ones are so inaccurate? Aside from it being an average over the 24 hours, why don't they realize that this is the problem, right?
The short answer is it could be bureaucracy. Okay, I'm going to make some guesses. Okay. Government agencies are bureaucracies. So meaning it's all budgets and all that. Politically, it's not sexy.
But also, it's not necessarily malicious, but sometimes they don't actually know what is better.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. You go on.
Yes, we don't have. Okay, Malaysian government here is hard in a way that it's not easy for us to make feedback. A lot of us, when we expect feedback, we expect a hotline to the government, hotline to a government, hotline to a box called a government, right? Whereas in reality, it's a bit more complicated. Often, people's idea of engaging with government is election, and that's it. In verse, some people had idea is they hope to call directly to a government for you to do things.
Yeah, just like internet in a box.
Correct.
The job.
So we don't have that kind of thing, and the government as a bureaucracy, many layer of bureaucracy, do not know how to handle requests like this. So as a result, this is from government feedback side. So they may not know how they do not know the idea how private sector work. But then it's also due to processes, budgeting, and all that. And also this is devices that we can say corruption and all that. It could be that internally doing that, but processes wise, government and private sector, it works slowly because of that processes, bureaucracy, budgeting on a big organization. The bigger you are as an organization, the harder you are to get things done because of various hurdles.
Why change things that already working for so many years?
Correct.
And I want to add on, sorry for interrupting, but I want to add on this as well, because a lot of the time they are not doing the things wrong, but probably do things like they are too fixated in doing things the properly and the really right way.
Correct.
Which sometimes it is very costly to do it and not scalable. Because as far as I know, some readings were taken physically, like they have to go and collect it physically and put it into some machine to get the readings.
Yes.
But I think this is the things that is going to change with all the IoT things, which we have all the community hardwares, even though they are not super accurate, but they are good enough to indicate certain issues.
Yes. But you need to also understand the people are very critical about the government.
Yeah.
They are more forgiving to a private sector. But there's a third alternative actually. The third alternative is having a non-profit to do it. And surprisingly, the idea of non-profit is actually very foreign in Malaysia. I don't understand why.
We don't have the
education.
I don't want to track too much into the political issue here, because in short, is Malaysia, we don't have the legal system there for registering, for easily register a non-profit society.
And more like there is profit, but for goals, there is not social enterprise. People do not understand that there is such organization that do not tie to political party, do not sell things, but for a cause, to do things for a cause, right? Take away the party, don't take away the political party, take away the political personality. So we are talking about things like animal rights, pollution, environmental protection. Those are politically neutral things that need help, but not expensive, but nobody's going to support it properly.
So if I were, for example, a software developer and I want to create this website that scrapes out certain news stuff, let's say regarding lost kittens, for example, on Facebook, right? So that it's easier for people to find out, oh, there's a lost kitten. So it's going to be very difficult for me to
No. It depends on the type of cause. Kittens are the easiest. It's very easy.
Doing it on your own is fine. It's just like picking up trash whenever you've seen it. Yes, it's good because culturally we need to expose people to these kind of habits.
Yes.
But it doesn't scale, as in there is no voice. I mean, this thing doesn't. I mean, unless you just need to spend a lot of time educate and change the culture of the society. But there is no way to set up a body or stuff to that is focused on lobbying this with the government, talking about policies with these bodies and that.
I go
Okay.
side a bit. Often we as software developer think that we build a website mission complete.
Everybody can do
Mhm.
that.
But often a course is more than just a website or a tools. I give you a very cool example. Let's say you had a pothole outside your house. Okay. Then what? So the first thing is, are you going to spend your own money to fix it?
No. Well, it depends, I guess.
Yeah, okay, maybe one time. Let's assume in this hypothetical situation, you know how to fix it and you have the money to fix it, you fix it, right?
Yeah. Especially if it affects me personally every day.
Correct. So hypothetically, it is. Make a hypothetical. Now, the second time the pothole are broken, are you going to keep doing it? Because now you had the whole road that is
Road
not
is
well
broken. Sorry.
maintained. Road is big, right?
Yeah.
So I like to use road because
Yep.
road is big, it's personal,
Yep.
right? Road is big personal, but the thing is, do you have the responsibility to fix the road that you use along the way? Why only you have to do it, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you need to engage people. Once you engage people, then people say, I need the road first because this is close to the hospital and all that.
Yeah.
There's various reasons why people want different part of the road to be fixed first. Now you have to engage your organization group. Now you had an organization. Now you have people problem. Now you have to prioritize, then all that. Then realize that, okay, we can't simply fix all road. Now you need a policy and all that. Now, when you talk about policy, and this is precisely what town council are doing. We had a road problem. Do we have money? How to get money, etc., etc., etc. Right? What's our source of money, etc. It's the same thing. A pothole, yeah, that's easy. Now a pothole throughout the road, that's easy. Then you realize that you do not want to do everything yourself because you don't research all that. Now you get a group of people. Once you get that, there's another problem. It's the same thing for kitten. Kitten are
It's a serious stuff.
finding one kitten is easy.
Yeah.
And building one website to do it is easy. Everybody
Correct.
It's a job anyway. So
now getting people to understand why you should put kitten in a shelter and neuter it. That's another issue. Now you have to educate people. Now you have to sell the idea to someone and all that, right?
Yeah. Sounds like a condo homeowners association issue thing.
yes.
Like,
yeah, it's precisely that. Look at your small scale issue. It's precisely that. Actually.
And then if you the magnitude becomes bigger, the more people that gets involved because they're all sharing like same issues, right? Like if it's in a condo, it's just okay. This cat is just noisy.
Yeah.
And it's just your neighbors, and then people ask, "Hey, what are we going to be doing about pets?"
Yeah. So now we have problems,
policy,
So,
and then
complaining is very easy. So with that kind of scales of complaints, how to differentiate like their voices from ours is if you've proved like with all these backings of data.
So we go a bit off topic in the way that now we have different people, now we have different organized opinion, and that is precisely where politics originally comes from.
Mm-hmm. So that's just because I can write this forum software for my condo home association thing so that we can all talk there civilly and then we have a record, doesn't mean that people will actually use it. And will actually even have like a way to voice out their issues.
And this is just more issue. How about bigger issue? Let's say vaccination. So your kid need vaccination. If you got kid that cannot have it because of sickness, but the rest of the bigger issue, bigger problem. That's where we need organization. That's where we need organization to fight for it.
So be there, like to keep track on things, talk with people, go around.
Yeah. Those things are work. As a result, as I tell you on the road issue, you see that there's a lot of effort already happening, right? You need to organize, talk, negotiate, and all that. And now you need an organization, and that's where non-profits comes in. And that's the point of a non-profit, other than the fact that we're here to donate money to people. Okay, so that's the last thing I want to talk about, causes and that, right?
But as a software developer, how do I don't need to just donate money. I can donate my expertise, but
correct.
I don't know how to choose between these things.
Correct. I think it's something that we need to fix ourselves. as I said, we have big issues we can fix, and one of the small issues that we can fix easily is to find out organization, engage with them,
Yep.
ask them what they want.
Yep.
It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it do not need, because often for a lot of the organization, their job are not primarily technology, and they do not require technology unless they have the resource. And actually, I'll go a bit ahead, but first engagement, second find out whether if they actually need technology. Ideally, we should have an organization that can put our resource together so that we can take our annual leave to help out. Often, a lot of these organizations are not advanced. It's very cool. A lot of these organizations are not technically savvy. In a way that,
put it this way, like how huge, just to give you guys the picture of how huge the technical gap is some of the people that you see on the news and stuff, they don't even use something like email.
Correct.
Yeah,
it's that bad. And
it's not that it's bad, but they need it. So
yeah.
But the problem is, it's fine if you don't use that. But the problem is they need that, and they are relying on people to do it for them.
Correct. So I think the first easiest thing is to talk about organization we can help. Those exist. Second, if they actually need technology at all, sometimes they don't. And there's another organization that you can help, which is your local representatives of different level. So let's say there's different level of representative. We've got the town council, very hard to find. We've got the state level, and we've got the parliament level, each worry about different issues. That's another place that you can actually start. I promise that we don't go politics, we keep breaking promise. I'm sorry, but this is important.
Okay.
Different level of organization, representation works on different things. Your town council, your housing area, what is it called? The housing committee. Your housing area had a small committee. Housing association. Your housing association will worry about your taman, your pipe keep leaking and all that. That is step one. Get involved. Do not necessarily mean technology. It means talk to meeting. Maybe they can use. Maybe you can teach them to use a forum so that they do not need to meet. Maybe that, right? Then your state level had state level policy. They don't do a lot actually. Let's say you have bigger issue. Big issue. Let's say censorship, technology issue that we care about. Censorship. Concern. We need. Why censorship is a bad idea? I keep going censorship because it's easier to sell. We had a lot of tech issue. Then you can talk to your representative. So each level is big issue, big issue.
Do we have any like success stories? Because I feel that if someone who hasn't done this before, they wouldn't know what to do. Like, how do I talk to my representative, right? Like, do you have any like list of, okay, I don't know if Swimming had talked to them before and had lobbied for this particular reason?
We don't have good success story. We have some story. For example, I'm going to drop a name. Singa Project had done Parliament document repository. That's the easiest thing we can do. We can do it in any language you want.
I'm not sure if it's related, but it's one of the used to be the Fix My Street maintainer in Malaysia. The Malaysian one is not so successful, but the interesting story is what happened in Cebu, Philippines. Is that do I pronounce it right? Cebu or Cebu?
It's Cebu. Cebu.
Cebu. Yeah. It's a project called Fix My Barangay, which is actually a multi-level collaboration between like the city councils, NGO from UK, and so also from the people from the ground. So they set up a different level system, like because often people that notice the problems are the residents. So a lot of time they are not aware with the system or to know where to launch these reports from. So Fix My Street is actually a system. It doesn't do anything. It's just a system where it lists down the issues, just like an issue tracker, but for strict issue. But that is not the main point. The main point is the level, the community level, which is there is a group of volunteers coming out as operator for Fix My Street. So people around that area, they can just SMS or email or go there and find them and talk about the issues, there's a pothole here and there, and they're gonna log it. Then the Fix My Street system is just a logger, just an issue tracker, and they have people to follow up with the local councils. So this actually takes a lot of work and with a lot of people, also including they need to improve because Fix My Street basically relies on OpenStreetMap. So they had several OpenStreetMap activities there to improve the maps of that area. So you can see just by fixing an issue, probably a pothole, to scale is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting story where a lot of people collaborate, but somebody needs to be there to in a way to bridge all this together.
Correct. And that is actually the harder part. I talk to different people and know who to talk to and setting up part, because turns out that Fix My Street is easier because it's easy for us to add features on the map and all that.
I think our website is easy. It's follow up with the residents, then follow up with the city councils.
So it's a lot of people issue.
If I bring this back to Swimming's Toys, right? Now, because let's say the people issue is there's a certain expertise or skill set for talking to people like this, right? So for us, now what we can do is we can make maybe something like what you're suggesting, people just putting together the data, and where does that go from that point on?
Okay, now, actually this is actually a good question. A lot of civic project start with tools, end with tools. No, the next step is follow up, but follow up with who? That's a question. Sensor project is easier to talk to because we have various environmental organizations in Malaysia. So the first person we talk to is this group, and here's why. Not because they have the expertise. They may have the expertise, chances they do. The main thing is because they have contact with the government. A job organization is to when a government asks for feedback on issues, environmental issue, for example, they are the first person to talk to. So, for example, let's say they want to talk about pollution policy, society, which actually have scientists in them, because they actually, for example, World Wildlife Fund and all that. So talk to this organization. They have contact with the government. They have some idea where to start as a policy level, right? I think, which is why I go back. Organization, understand, knowing which organization to go to is important. Understanding where to go to is important. Do not assume two things. Do not assume that there's a hotline to the government that do things for you. Do not assume that social media will make automatically cause outrage and do things for you.
Do not be condescending. Be helpful.
Correct. I'm sorry, but we at tech community had an assumption that we know more than most people because we have $1 billion company around. Not true. Learn how different organizations work. Don't keep. Here's the mantra on working with this organization and real world issue. This issue. Do not keep thinking about disruption.
That's the one that I want to add in. So because we're so used to the disruption kind of concept, we actually lose sight, or we actually don't care, don't bother to know about what other existing processes. Some of them might be really good, but we didn't know about them. We just think that just slap a technology to them and we're gonna take away their jobs or something like that.
Yeah.
So that means as a software developer, it's not enough to know the technology. You need to know the reasons behind why certain processes were there before you were even born, and what were the reasons behind why these policies were made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Could be
correct.
solving a completely different problem that what you think the problem is.
Yes.
Yep.
But that being said, it's cheap for us to prototype, so we can show some idea.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. Prototype for us is cheap, but talking to the other organization that already do things, that is a little bit harder, which is why it's easier. So now that you have the tools, you find out which organization to talk to. You need to give them a reason to talk tools. Often, another thing is, we keep telling that we have these cool tools. Everybody can make a cool tools. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
everybody
I think
make website.
for people that are not used to technology, even
Yeah,
all tools look the same to them.
correct. So engagement is hard, but it's easier if we have an organization. But I know it's hard for us, but I think it's worth it for us to have organization similar to, oh man, I know a few technology organization that helps civil organization in the US. Code for
EFF.
America is one, but they work on the government level. Similar idea. It's a
EFF.
good. No. They help organization.
Okay.
They help different organization to build technology. So what happened actually like this? I believe. I do not have evidence. I believe that it's good. It would be great if we have an organization, something a bit more formal,
Yeah.
that consists of two type of people: the non-profit people that understand non-profit works, and the technical person, people that understand technology. As an organization, we cut and hit, which offer two things: technology solution or consultancy. I don't have a strong idea what yet.
And we can debut swimming foundation.
Yeah.
Student foundation is hard in Malaysia, but why I want to talk about organization?
Yeah.
As an individual, we're going to talk to the guy, to this organization. They may not listen to us. It's similar to, let's say, a startup. You would go talk to a VC for money, which is easier, an individual, or you had a company of few people.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept. Then once you go to the organization, then you talk about how they do the process. Again, it's really think about it. Take away all the big startup story about something disrupting the taxi industry. Go something like this. When we build a product, we talk to our customer, and when we talk to our customer, we understand what they want. As a result, build what they want to use that will actually help our goal, right? As a startup. This same organization will do the same thing. As an organization, easier to talk to another organization, and the goal of the organization is to talk to this say organization. Let's say your goal is to talk to them, understand what their needs, and build something that's relevant or install something that's relevant. Chances is they might just need a WordPress site up and running, for example, right? They may not need advanced technology, for example. It's not too different from IT project, really. We just need to start talking, but the hard part is education of both sides. That's the last part, actually. Last part here is you have the tools. You go there, you finally sell them the idea of the tools to use, right? Now you have to educate them that about IT project. For example, we can't build a feature overnight, for example, right? That's the level of that in now. As an organization, easier to talk about that, and the hard part here is to educate the idea that we are partners, we're not vendors, and when you want to build a project, it's not something you do overnight, it takes time, etc., etc., etc. So, yes, I'm sorry if I scared you guys about how to do changes in Malaysia.
Damn.
Unfortunately, it is what it is.
I thought I just put my stuff on Product Hunt and then it changes.
Correct, right?
No, it doesn't work like that. I've been lied to.
Yeah, but when you build a startup, often a prototype is where you start, but as you talk to more people, as you get feedback from your user, you get more things. It's the same concept, except your user is an organization and not a people.
I think because of the culture of also the conservative culture of especially a big organization like the government.
Yeah.
They are less prone to, let's put it this way, like useless feature.
Yeah, correct.
Or fancy feature. Just find something that really works.
But yes, in this case, they are not technical person, which is also another problem. We don't have good representation in the government. As a result, we don't have voice. We don't have good voice.
Introducing, we're gonna debut Pirate Party Malaysia.
Yeah. Actually, believe it
You'll
or
be
not,
really busy, man.
believe it or not, we had one chance and we screwed up. The computer, computing professional board have the power. They do a lot of the wrong thing, but they have the power to make good recommendation. It happens, right? That's something that we screw up in this time, that we just want it to down, but we do not want it to form into something that is.
We can actually
useful.
have a totally dedicated episode to talk about how politics will affect everyone.
Correct.
And it happened in Malaysia before, which is called the CPP.
Correct.
Yeah, where they try to regulate the computer professionals,
but
to get license, everything. Yeah.
Correct. That's another story. But to make changes, small issues got easy way. Big.
Tristan, what do you want to add?
Yeah, big problem got big way.
I just wanted to, like, we talked about this before in a DevKami episode. I think this is number 1, ethics in software engineering.
Oh yeah.
Remember, where if we don't shape up, then the only choice of government to go to, like the only thing that the government will do, which is to regulate, which is the only thing that it can do, basically. It's its purpose, right? To regulate.
It's not that it's bad, it's just that whether there's a trust with the body.
Yeah. So I'm put it this way, sometimes regulation is not bad, provided that we have a good feedback. Right?
Yeah, just a callback to episode number 1 if you haven't heard about episode number 1 or you haven't listened to it. We have a podcast RSS feed now. It also indexed number 1. It's 30 minutes long only. It's like our first episode.
We used to start, we used to end in 30 minutes. Now,
now we talk about politics, how it affects software developers. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think we should have an episode on political processes. So just so that we won't turn people off of when they want to make changes. But that being said, big problem have their own way to do things. Small problem have their own way to do things.
Put it this way,
it gets complicated really fast.
Some people might paint certain words like politics in a negative way, but it's actually not.
Yeah,
it is there. We still need them. They still need us. We just need to discover each other's. Just like not Tinder. It's like a date. So you need to like figure out how each other's lie and
can I make that app now? So non-profit, and then you just swipe left and right and.
we can call it. It's called non-profit. I don't know what we call that. But I want to bring it to something closer to us.
Tinder for the non-profit.
I want to bring back to an example of small issues that we know. It's not a small issue, but it goes like this. We have problem to grow junior developers in Malaysia. Is that a problem? You agree?
Now solve it.
As software developers, we believe that our quality of software developers, even the senior one, is not really great.
Yeah.
And we often believe that we do not have enough knowledge. Do you agree?
Yes.
All right, cool. So how do we solve it?
We did swimming.
No, we have neither, right?
Well, apparently, some businesses are trying to solve it by doing the boot camp style, right?
Correct.
That's how they try to.
We can have another episode about boot camp.
Right, but so there is now. So like the real world issue. Okay, this is a real issue. Like many issues in the world, there's multiple branch. The corporate entity can do that by going boot camp. And maybe we think that bootcamp is a good idea because we believe that we have enough to contribute, right?
Now universities are also doing it. So BAC, I think I saw that advertisement. 3 months, it's a university thing. You have a course, you graduate as a software developer. So that's
correct
from the educational institution.
So, but for some reason, we being idiots decide to have, you know what, let's have multiple meetups on technology. Funny, isn't it? Now we decided to do a meetup for technology. Now we had a problem, right? Now we have to find places. Now we had to make agreement with various people. When to have it, I don't know. Who want to volunteer? I don't want to. Okay, I want to. You know, now you got groups of people coming in, right?
Mhm.
Now you engage with a group of people. Then suddenly you need to talk to somebody with venue. Then you need to talk to them what's the rule and all that. When you can open and all that, right? So then finally you decided to have an event and a meetup for one night and talk to various people and decided that it's okay to do it on a weekday. You don't really care about who come as long as enough people to come. So then you have a meetup. Then you
It really
decided
sounds
that.
so sad, man.
But you decide. Then suddenly people decided that let's have more meetups. So somebody decided to join together, do more meetups. Now we have multiple meetups together. Right now we have to coordinate. Can you not? Then we decide. Okay, when is your meetup and all that, right?
Sounds like this sounds like the story of frameworks. Like, oh, this framework doesn't do what I want.
Correct.
I make a new framework, and now you have like 51
Yeah.
frameworks.
So what
And
happened?
then-
What I'm trying to say is this: when you had a problem on a different scale, you will involve people. When you involve people, things get complicated, right? The bigger the problem, the more people you have, you will have governance issue, and unfortunately, you also have what we call a politics issue. Big problem, small problem, small people, awesome, but doesn't have a lot of people. More people, big problem, need more people. Therefore, involve more, all the little problem about changes. And this is actually what happened with our meetups and all that. Or web frameworks like Django suddenly had a governance board for conferences, for example, right? So as I say, as we grow our problem, it's not often that our problem can be solved by 2-3 people in the outside software. Even on frameworks, you got people, then you have governance and all that, whether people who can contribute and all that, right? Actually, software is a very good model to introduce how organization works, open source software. But actually, the point of this story is actually the two part of the story. One, I show how to make changes and why sometimes you have to deal with people and how do you deal with different people, talk to different people, engage with them, and why you need people, because something that we are not very good at explaining here is tools alone doesn't solve problem, right?
Put it this way, the main thing about technology is to solve human issues.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, but what sort of human issues is up to you. Like,
correct. So unfortunately, it means you need to talk to people and all that. So as a result, doing changes means to learn things, and so that we should really compile a list of non-profits in Malaysia and how to engage people. Do you think we should do an episode on this? A step-by-step process?
this is the episode about this.
Oh, okay.
We can actually expand on it once we have more to show.
Correct.
Like I'm not sure, probably I think we did need to do a bit of research on this.
Yeah, and also doing changes in the community is not about disruption. I think this is more important than everything. Understand and figure out how it goes.
Yep. We are working together in a way.
Correct.
To solve things.
Correct. So I think that's all from me.
Let's take a few items from the chat.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the chat.
There's nothing on the chat.
Salosin.10 says the government is listening. So yes, we can send them suggestions with the stats to back it up. I think the only issue is like what I was asking, like, are there any success stories? What's the procedure? So it's again an educational issue. Like it's an education issue. Since people don't know what to do.
I have success story as in personally, like whenever I have a fixation on certain issues like street issue, illegal parkings and things, and I'll gather enough data, like enough videos and stuff to do it. But when I get enough of this, they need to solve it for me, and every single time they solve my problem for me.
Yeah, but you need to know who to talk to.
Yeah.
But there's multiple ways. Your MP is really helpful and all that. But let's start with
Not my
let's
MP, I
start
just
with smaller
contact them.
issue lah. Yeah.
Okay, and Kevin says that he didn't know about the open data event as well. So
Yeah.
thank
My
you for mentioning it.
Yeah.
Should we remind people again? There's an open data event March 2nd.
Yep. So we'll do it again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it free to attend or do you have to
Yep.
pay?
Yeah.
This
it's
is
free to
actually organized by by IO Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
John is trying to do something to balance out to like the technical gap between like Malaysia technical communities with the civic societies.
Yeah.
So even though it looks like normal tech workshops, but some of the main audience are actually the NGOs.
Mhm.
So yep, it's one of the effort led by a foreigner to try to do things in Malaysia.
Correct. You want to do more research? Here's a keyword that you can look at. The keyword here is open government, open science, citizen science, open government partnership. I think these are 4 keywords that can get you started about how people make changes on different level.
All right. So I just want to remind people that we have a podcast link now, RSS feed. So we are
Yeah.
on Spotify. Do we have the link to Spotify or did they just, how do you find it? You just go to Spotify, search
It's
for
called
DevKami.
Find
Just search
DevKami.
DevKami. It's
Spotify
as easy as that.
Yes.
So we search Spotify
DevKami.
for DevKami and then
Yeah.
it will show up, right?
Yep.
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 And Apple
I'm going
Podcast,
to copy the link.
we still need
Yeah.
to get approved. I don't know what's taking Apple so long to approve it.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
probably
They're,
checking.
they're,
Selling
pro-
drugs.
they're probably too busy checking out our previous podcasts and enjoy it too much. They kept repeating it and
Yeah.
forgot about time.
How come it says holiday, holiday? Wait, there's wrong. It's wrong. Sorry, I made a mistake on the title.
It
Well,
should
it is
be holiday then dating.
No.
It's holiday then more holiday.
Yeah.
Still holiday.
Yeah. Still holiday, yeah.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
one more thing is I got these new toys. Maybe we're going to do a review soon.
We need to do that will be probably the weekend swimming special. We
Yeah.
actually try talking about like trying to live stream some of the stuff we try to do over the weekends or whenever we're free. So, but that is we still need to find out the date that works on most of us. So,
Yes.
but I think that concludes the episode for today.
So you can shut down now. You can shut down now.
Yeah.
Close the YouTube channel, whatever. But
So, yep.
Bye. See you again next week.
Yeah, bye.
Yes.
See you.
Bye.